Dribble in the dark, stars won't tell. Nibble at the edges of a wishing well. Quibble with the shadows, they know too much. Spindle spins the night with a velvet touch. Electric air, it shivers, it hums. Counting the beats of 1,000 drums, 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 drums. Dribble, dribble, can't stand still. Kindle the fire, chase the thrill. Spindle spins, the clock runs thin. Dribble, dribble, let the game begin. Flicker of a light, the neon's cold. Trickle of a thought, the truth unfolds. Riddle in the rhythm, it's all pretend. Tick tock, baby, the line won't bend. Voltage rises, sparks collide. Pulse in the heart, nowhere to hide. Dribble, dribble, can't stand still. Kindle the fire, chase the thrill. Spindle spins, the clock runs thin. Dribble, dribble, let the game begin.
Welcome in, guys. Welcome back, my beautiful Tater Nation. It's Thursday, and you know what that means. Time for Tater Talks Thursdays, where the takes are hot, the mics are on, and the potatoes are fully baked. I am sun-baked today, and I'm tired, but this is the round table. This is the open panel. This is where bold ideas meet real conversations. No scripts, no safe little sound bites, no flakes, I hope. Just organically grown conversations served fresh. And you know, as potatoes, we have lots and lots of eyes, and we like watching all those interesting things that humans do up top. And tonight we're going to be digging into those big questions, sharp disagreements, and maybe even a little bit of uncomfortable truth. But we do it with logic, respect, and a willingness to actually listen. I hope. So pull up a chair, check your ego at the door, and let's dig in. Because this is Tater Talks Thursdays. And of course, before we begin, this program contains open dialogue and unscripted commentary. Guest participants speak for themselves. Their opinions are solely their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the host or this channel. Conversations may include strong language, conversational perceptives, or emotionally charged positions. The purpose of this format is dialogue, not endorsement. We don't clip farm around here, guys. We expect all participants to follow platform terms of service and community guidelines. Personal attacks or calls for harm will result in immediate removal. And of course, viewer discretion is advised with the possibility of strong language. We do have people in the vetting or in the Tater Talks room. So we'll get over there here in just a minute. I'll make sure that they're good to go. And yes, this is live. Good to see you, Emmett. Good to see you. Appreciate you being here. And of course, as always, you're welcome to be up here if you would like to. Apprentice, Emmett, get your butt up here. Apparently, Apprentice wants you up there. And you're welcome to be up on the panel. So let me get over there and see if they're ready for me, and I'll be right back here. All right, guys, you ready for me? All right. Welcome in. All right, so have you guys had a chance to look at the prompts?
Yeah.
I looked at them yesterday.
Probably been updated since then. I've unfortunately updated them twice since I posted them the first time. So I'll read them off for the chat, of course, and so that you guys can be refreshed on them. And as always, they should be in the side chat. Dave or Mr. B is usually really good about doing that. So if you ever need to reference back to them, let me make sure. Yep, looks like they're there. All right, so the first one, and these can go in order, and they don't have to go in order. But the first one that I have down is, do rights come from nature, society, or government? And then, of course, what do we consider rights, freedoms, abilities, and the difference between them? Number 2 is is free will real, or are we just biological computers reacting to stimuli? If free will is not true, what is the purpose of life, and why do the terrible things in life happen? If free will does exist, what is the greater purpose of people, or greater good of people, and what should we be shooting for with said free will? Number 3, if perfect simulation of Earth were to exist, would the people inside deserve rights? Number 4, if happiness could be guaranteed by a pill, should everyone take it? Should we shoot for the book Utopia? And if anybody hasn't seen or read that book, we'll discuss it before we start that prompt. Looks like we have a few people in the chat. Phil, as always, good to see you. Birds, I haven't shouted out the chat now that I think about it, so I'll do that here in just a second. Good to see everybody. Good to see everybody. And then number 4, let's see. Yeah, number 4. Nope. I just read that one. Number 5. Would world peace be worth giving up national sovereignty? And giving up national sovereignty, what would life look like at that point in time? And number 6, and this is Dave. He's the one who put it as the option, so we'll try to shoot for Dave being on the panel to do this one, and if not, we'll cover it and maybe cover it again. Number 6 is, do we Christians, conservatives, say we need to bring back shaming, but also say we need to forgive our brothers, neighbors, whatever? Imagine you see someone with their privates out in public, Pride Parade, for example, or imagine someone assaulting someone else, and one person walks up and says, you're a piece of trash for doing that. Another walks up and says, I forgive you for hurting my friend, my mother, my sister, etc. Who is right? Both, neither. Is there a time between offense, shame, and forgiveness? If so, how long? And who decides the time length? That one was a little long, but all right. Real quick, let me shout out the chat real fast here. So we had Vashmit, appreciate you posting that. Please smash the like. If you haven't liked the stream, please like, subscribe, share. Turn on the notification bells so that you see me on the notifications, and so that you know when I'm live. Let me see here. Okay. Craig, good to see you. Says might be popping on, so we'll hope to see you on the panel. Leia, always good to see you. Apprentice, appreciate the check-in. Chaos is always good to see you guys. Birds as always. Birds aren't even real. Check into it. Good to see you. And Emmett, always good to see you. Count Emmett, if you don't know, he has his own stream and he's always up, either whether it's late at night or early in the morning. You can always catch the guy. Good to see you. Filthy Phil is always good to see you, man. And Wi-Fi, good to see you. Good to see you. Appreciate the engagement, guys. And of course, Static Age Show. If you don't know, he has his own show. Good to see you. Good to see you guys. All right. So, is there anywhere that we want to start on the panel? Any preferences?
What we got? Is it just me and Jay?
Just so far. Hopefully there will be, and I appreciate you pointing that out. So if anybody in the chat wants to join, anybody is welcome to join. There are some people that have been pre-vetted. So hop on in. If you're already in the room, come on up. And if you're not, go ahead and hop into the Discord and go into the vetting room. And love to hear from anybody on these subjects, especially. All right. So if there's nowhere that we have that we care to start, I can pick out one just at random.
Let's do it.
Okay. We'll stay away from one for right now because that one will be long, and we'll wait for a little bit more people. See if we can get more people. Let's see. We'll do 3 because that'll probably be quick. If a perfect simulation of Earth existed, would the people inside deserve rights?
All right. So I guess my first question to that would be, inside of this perfect simulation, is it independent of our Earth, or did we create the simulation
That's
to mimic ourselves for some reason?
That's a good question. Let's say it's for us. Oh shoot, that's a good question. I didn't really think about that depth. You already stumped me. Let's see.
I mean, we can look at both angles.
Sure. Yeah, let's shoot for both. Like I said, I wasn't real sure where we would go with it, but if you got thoughts, go ahead and shoot them out. No?
Okay. I would say if we created it for our own purposes, I don't know that we would be morally wrong in saying they only have the rights that we prescribe to them.
Sure. Makes sense.
Now, if we didn't, I think we would be morally wrong to do so. If this simulation came about because of some forces that we don't know about, then I think it would be morally unjust for us to push our will on that simulation.
Interesting. Jay, what you're
But I would argue isn't every situation, like, I guess this probably goes back to one of the other questions, are we innately, do we innately have our own rights, or are all of our rights prescribed by someone else?
Shit, that's actually a good point. Goes back to one that I wanted to avoid.
Sorry.
I actually had an error.
That was my fault.
I had an arrow for that on my note cards to point back to 1 from 3.
That's funny. Yeah. I didn't even think about that when I asked 3, because it ties right into 1. But yeah, there was a video. Did you have anything else to say, Jay? Sorry.
Nope. We can. Yeah. Go ahead.
Fair. So there was. What was it? I can't remember what it was. It might have been a Black Mirror episode, but it sounds right up their alley. But it was basically this question. There was a gentleman that created. I can't even remember what it was. Because I'm just thinking about it now. It wasn't like that I formed this question off of this, but now that I'm thinking about the question, I'm thinking about this. But he had basically created a organic life form in the computer that took on a will of its own, and he started to build a whole network of computers to cater to these things. And then they ended up taking over the whole entire world of people because they hosted inside of everybody. It was wild. But anyway, so kind of right up that alley where he had created a completely different species, and then they ended up taking over people, which would then end up giving them their own rights, which is an interesting take in and of itself. Now I really wish it was what I was thinking of. But anyway, do you have anything on that?
No, but that's pretty interesting to think about.
Yeah. I really wish I could think of where I'd seen that now. Cause like I said, I literally just thinking of it now, but it was the wildest thing when I was watching it a while ago at this point. Unfortunately, I wish somebody in the chat would know what I'm talking about. Leia says, go ahead. Sorry,
it's not too much different than AI would be taken over if they took over.
Right.
Pretty much. Yeah.
If they became sentient.
Yep. Yeah, it is a crazy episode. Like I said, I think it was just an episode of something, so I'm thinking it's probably Black Mirror. I can't remember for sure. I don't think I could make through all of those episodes. There were some crazy stuff in that show. But anyway, Leia in the chat says, I would argue these people would deserve as my rights as we do.
As many rights
as many rights, probably, yeah. If we were to create
cases,
go ahead, sorry.
In both situations, we created or spontaneous genesis, whatever.
Right. Yeah, it's an interesting.
I can't see the chat right now, so.
You're good.
But if we don't have rights prescribed and everyone just has the right based off of what they feel is their right, then we end up with utter chaos. So I mean, even in scripture, we had rights and laws and rules. And so I feel like it's kind of a guarantee. Otherwise, you just end up with self-destruction.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Now I really wish I could remember that episode because it ties right into what we're talking about and would lay the groundwork pretty well actually for this question. Leia
Well,
says,
and
"Oops,
on
my
the that a oh sorry, go ahead.
You're fine. Leia just said, "Oops, my fault." Anyway, what are you saying, Jay?
On the AI side of it, or on the computer side of this, whatever you're referring to, it, where there's a void, it creates a vacuum, and it will be filled by something. So yeah, if we're not giving our rights, or our government's not giving us rights, something is going to fill that. Something is going to enact order from chaos. So if we don't keep that void filled and we don't keep order and structure, then it just opens the door for either something like AI or dictators, or something along those lines. We have to make sure that there isn't a void left that creates that vacuum.
Right.
So from the words of Andrew Wilson, we must maintain the force.
That's right.
Right.
Because if we lose the ability to force those rights, then we will lose those rights.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, we got a lot of weird stuff coming up in the works, coming out of China. They've got, the AI intimate robots that we've talked about, and they keep advancing more and more. We've got the AI data centers that are pushing for better AI, AGI, whatever they're wanting next. And Static Age Show says in the chat, says, Claude is a retard. AI won't become sentient anytime soon. And I would like to think that, because the idea of sentient AI just scares me, honestly. I'm not going to lie. But we have these billionaires, trillionaires, whatever they are now, that are pushing for AI to take over. Like, they want to accelerate the decline of human race, and they want to push this next evolved thing onto the world. And I'm human. I want to exist. I want my kids to exist. I don't want to be taken over by a better race. We didn't take over a better race. We just took what we needed. We're losing you,
Tater.
Oh, of course.
Cutting out on me too.
I think I lost the stream.
There we go.
There you are.
Okay. All right. Hold on. Let me see what my speed is at real quick. I'm coming through all right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay. Yeah, the stream started to buffer even, so that was kind of stupid.
Doesn't like us talking about them.
Probably. Shit. It's getting crazy how things are like that. Like the stream that I did with Leia the other day about Jubilee, and it just, completely shut it. It blanked my screen until I took Jubilee off of my screen, and then it allowed my stream to come back up.
That's crazy.
That is wild. That is wild.
The new cars are wild.
What was that?
The new cars are wild.
Oh man. Do you want to expand on that since we're on that real quick?
2026 is ultimate tracking.
Yeah.
Ultimate tracking everywhere you go. Everywhere, even without the flock cameras. The modem transmits your data constantly from your phone through your car. So they wanted to, I have to ask my wife again who she was talking to. They were going to raise somebody that she maybe works with their insurance rates. Because they bought a new car. The insurance company was able to get the data of her driving from the car itself. And they wanted to raise her premiums because she was speeding, because she stopped hard at times.
Yeah.
And that was all from the car.
Yeah.
That was all given to them from the car itself. So insurance companies are going to use it to track your driving so they can raise your rates, of course, because nobody's perfect when they drive.
Right. Exactly.
Absolutely. I'm perfect. What are you talking about?
I drive perfect for me.
Yeah, right. I don't have a problem with how I
I've been
drive.
driving like a grandma since I was 16.
I'm the best driver in the world when nobody's in front of me or behind me.
There you go. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know what to think of the cars nowadays, because like you just said, they're getting out of control. So when I worked in the oil field, they had an aftermarket GPS installed, and they would constantly come at me. Why are you braking too hard? Why are you accelerating too fast? And I'm not going to lie. I'm not especially when I was in the oil field, I was going to get there. It was hours of drive, and I late at night. I wanted to get there. I wanted to get home. So I'm not going to excuse myself here. But the point of the matter is they had this stuff in third party. If they're putting it in during market and you have to deal with it,
right?
You don't consent to this stuff, right?
No, you don't. Well, the new Mercedes, I guess it's E-Class, you can't open the hood.
What?
You cannot open the hood.
Oh, no.
They will not let you open the hood. You have to take it to a dealership anytime you want to open the hood. There's no dipstick either for the oil.
Holy shit. Yeah, This is all new information to me.
Oh, they are blocking out 100%.
Hey,
so car manufacturers are petitioning and lobbying the government right now to pass laws that prohibit us from working on our own
Good
vehicles.
to see you, Mr. B. So I've been seeing like specialty tools and restrictions coming up, but this is out of control at this point.
Yeah, they are petitioning hard for that. They're calling it a safety issue, that they don't want people working on their own vehicles because they don't do it right because of this and that. But that's what they're trying to get done right now. And they're going to be able to track all that with the computers and the monitoring. So say you have a 2023, whatever it is, a Hyundai, whatever, the switch goes out of the driver door for the window. You can go to a junkyard, get that switch, and put it back in. In the 2025s and 26s, if that switch goes out, you have to go to the dealership, get the switch, and then the dealership, you have to pay labor for the dealership to plug into the computer of your car and program that switch to operate with your car, or it won't work.
That's the thing, is it has to be programmed to your specific motherboard so that they can get you to have to go into them. Yep.
Oil changes have to be programmed after you get an oil change done now on these new vehicles.
That's wild.
Because they don't want you to touch it. They want every bit of that maintenance dollar cost. And they're charging $250 a labor hour now at car dealerships to repair.
What the
easy.
And on top of that, they haven't given the technicians any raises over the last 10 years. Even though they're charging 30-40% more, they've stalemated the wages of the technicians. So I think Ford lost like 20,000 technicians. They're hurting bad. They can't find anybody to fix their cars in their dealerships.
Gee, I wonder why.
Well, right.
Yeah, well, and then they go to work on the vehicle, and to change a starter, you have to drop the bell housing, take the transmission apart because the starter is now inside the bell housing.
Good God.
Ford's doing that.
That's nuts. Yeah,
I'm just going to keep my car on the road as long as I possibly can.
Yeah,
I will never get rid of my Jeep. I will replace everything on that.
I'm definitely going to do what I can to hold on to the vehicle now. I am regretting turning it in, but I had no choice when I did it, so it is what it is now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's freaking wild what I'm coming across now that I've turned it in. Oh man. Anyway. All right. Welcome in, Emmett.
What's up?
How are you, Emmett?
Hello. I'm here. I'm just awake. And I'm here.
Good to see you. Good to see you.
I'm gonna be a little bit Caleb Hammer coder, and it's like, you Americans waste too much money on cars. It's just my opinion.
We do. We really do.
We really do.
And most of us don't want to.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately.
What do you mean you don't want to? It's
I certainly don't want to waste money on a vehicle. I've had mine for 10 years. I don't do payments. So
that's good.
What did you get a new?
Most of the people that have a lot of money here
show.
drive
Good to see you.
Toyotas, honestly.
Yeah.
I love Toyotas.
They last forever.
It's the smart money car. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If I wasn't doing in the profession that I am in, I would have a Toyota. Hands down.
Yeah. We have a lot of lottery winners in the country that go out and spend all their money in 6 years and are bankrupt in 7 years. So.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I'll be one of those. I had a challenge. It's like, if you had a challenge, you had was 10 million. If you had $10 million and you had to spend it all in a year, do you think you could spend it? I think I could.
Could I? For sure. Yeah.
Yeah, just 10 million. You cannot, there were a couple things. You cannot buy property with it. It has to be spent on bullshit. You think you could spend it?
Bullshit?
Yes,
Probably not.
bullshit.
I was gonna say
Well,
I could do
I
it, but
already have the
bullshit.
property. I already
No-
have the
no
property, so
property.
if bullshit counts as like extra animals and livestock, yeah, you betcha. You betcha.
No.
Yeah, if
I
you're
mean,
talking
it
livestock.
cannot be. No, it cannot be used for like investment. It has to be done in just bullshit. It has to be
So
done
a whole
in
bunch
things
of stuff from
that
China.
whole bunch.
Right,
Well,
pretty
not
much,
necessarily.
unfortunately.
My-
Oh, Dave,
my
come on,
plan
don't
is
hate on
to-
Toyota. That shit runs
If you
forever.
limited it to Walmart, Meijer, Target. Are we talking
Well, no.
groceries?
I was gonna spend it mostly on travel. You can
There you
spend
go.
10. You can
Oh,
spend
well,
10
travel.
million on
Yeah.
travel.
You could do that in a year.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
Oh,
it's
easily.
fine.
Yeah.
Easy. Yeah.
I'd be down. Let's
So-
do it. Let's fucking go.
Yeah, Let's do it. Who's got 10 million to offer?
Who's got the 10 mil?
Oh, God. I don't think we were talking about FU money, right? It's like
yeah, right.
Right.
Oh shit. The FU money.
let me not ever spend anything. Yeah,
right.
It's just
So I don't like stuff. I don't like to have a bunch of stuff
Right?
or
Yeah.
clutter.
Just bogs you down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I tried to avoid
Well,
stuff.
I would say
So-
I would say the same, but I have a bunch of stuff in Warhammer right now, so I don't know what to tell you. I'm painting a bunch, and I'm like probably have a project for the next year just in building and painting and converting and making them look cool. So I'm guilty.
Right.
Fair
There's
enough.
Yeah,
nothing I can say.
I say I don't like stuff, and then I sit in my garage here, and I've got 3 of every tool you could think of.
I know,
so.
same.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately, I have way too many tools. It's the biggest thing.
You guys are tool guys. I see.
But
Well, I own a business,
I have a
so I have a
practical
choice.
application. They have practical application.
Exactly.
my Warhammer has practical application too. You know.
Entertainment value.
Right. That's funny. But anyway, so yeah, it's getting crazy how little freedom we have, and they're taking every bit that they can at every turn, right? So we have to be extremely careful on that. But yeah, I don't necessarily want to derail too much per se. But Emmett, did you have anything you wanted to say before we move into an actual topic or anything?
No, we can move into a topic. I heard of some of the topics, and I'm actually interested in some of them. I will have to leave in half an hour.
Oh no,
I have
Oh,
I have some
Well,
stuff to do, but yeah, let's just start.
let's
do
let
this.
Emmett pick then.
right. Do you have a preference that you'd like to start with? Have you had a chance to look at the prompts tonight, Emmett? I don't know. You're just getting up and stuff.
Yeah, no, I did. I actually listened to it, and I think we're gonna go with 6.
Okay.
How do we Christians say we need to bring back shame? We also say we need to forgive our brothers, and I think that's a not relative. We have one has nothing to do with the other.
Fair.
Like I can shame you for being a degenerate, and at the same time forgive you, and still shame you for being a degenerate, right? Because it has nothing to do necessarily with me. One is a proposal towards the general society, and this is a problem I see with a lot of people who try to say that shaming is bad. It's like they always think about the people who have a problem. Let's say that you are an alcoholic. It's like, oh, shaming the alcoholic is bad for them. Yeah, but it's good for society. So I don't care about them in the part of shaming. Okay, society in the general society, what I want is as much shame as possible, so people don't fall into those kind of problems. And when it comes to him, we can find when the person has already have a problem, we can find compassion for them, can find We can find other places, and that doesn't mean that we're not gonna keep on shaming that kind of behavior as much as possible. One is not related to the other.
Fair.
Right? It's like the toxic compassion kind of thing.
So is there a way to positively shame someone, or is it always going to be derogatory when you're shaming someone? The question being, is it shameful to say, man, you drink way too much, it's way out of control, you're doing damage to yourself, you're doing damage to your family, you got to get better? I don't think that's shaming necessarily, right? Or is that shaming?
I wouldn't say that's shaming, but I would say in the general population, you would be like, "Oh, being a drunkard is fucking awful, and you never should be a drunkard, and you should portray them in the portrayal in movies and in any kind of propaganda is like horrible people and should be completely negative and always should be negative, and then when you and that may cause a stigma, right? It's like, oh, you're a drunkard. You meet somebody new and it's completely
Glad to have you,
you'd be like, I don't want to hang with that guy. He's a drunkard.
Shout out to the mods.
That's fine.
You guys are awesome.
It's like the same thing would happen to a person that's a whore, right? It's like, oh, I don't want to date that. I don't want to be near that.
Yeah. So
it's a whore.
Right. So going to the examples. So going to the examples that Dave gives in the question, right? So you go out to a pride parade and they have their privates out. You know, the shame. Where does that line get put, right? And then, you know, are you supposed to forgive them? Like, because God says turn the other cheek. Who's right? Is both? Neither, right? What? What?
Oh, yeah. Well, there's a huge difference between, and this is something that a lot of people don't get, is that when it comes to a lot of the things that is being told to Christians on how to act, it's a personal duty, but that doesn't take away from the state. In fact, you are supposed, the state has its powers, and it's given to them, and you're supposed to submit to the powers of the state as a Christian. In fact, the way that we ought, when it comes to the conservative idea, is we are the moral of the people, and we are gonna be the ones that have power at the end over the state. Okay, that we do it in a Christian way, so Christians go together. They are the general population, and they reflect it upon the state. That's how we're supposed to do it. If you're a citizen, you're supposed to act like one. Okay, and where's the line? The line is usually next to a wall, and it depends on what is the actions being taken. If you have a bunch of people that are taking a lot of grape juice, especially against kids, they should be put against the wall. Okay, and usually there's a small, usually about 9 millimeters long peel that is given to those people so that they will stop doing it. Okay, forever. And there's a difference between people who have been wronged being able to forgive them and move forward in life and have a life afterwards, even if they were victimized. And there is a role of the state that doesn't. Its role is not necessarily mercy; it's justice. And mercy can be given in special cases, but in most cases, justice is the predominant factor of what they're supposed to do. And a lot of people don't understand that justice is also loving, because your soul, when you get justice, your soul also regenerates. So you do it out of love. You actually try to regenerate the person soul, in a sense. So it all has to do with the kind of justice that we want. Do we want? Is it just for the people to see in general, out in public, people doing the gender stuff? No, it's not just. We have to stop it. And where are we gonna go with this? Well, you're probably gonna go into a cage, or you're going back into the fucking closet, and you're gonna stay there. Those are the options you have, because we're not gonna accept you going outside and being a degenerate.
Fair. Dave says they are separated if you separate them. However, they don't have to be. Not sure what.
They have to be separate because how are you gonna submit yourself to yourself, right? That's- you have an ethical framework that you have to follow. You are under you submit yourself to the church. You're not the church, so you have to submit yourself to the authority of the state as well. You are not the state. Those
Right.
are different. One is an idea of how a Christian should act when it comes to his internal ethics, and the other one is how the state should act in accordance to their duty, which is justice. And for example, what is the duty of the church? The church is a regenerative place. It's like people tell you all the time, it's like a hospital. Their position is to help your spiritual self. So they're different. They have different roles. They have different duties.
Fair. Okay. Anybody else on that topic? Dave, where are
I think
you? Go ahead.
I think the difference in like the issue that we run into with forgiveness versus shaming is one, forgiveness all throughout scripture, when people wanted forgiveness, they came and they requested forgiveness. They had a repentant heart. They turned from their ways. So if someone is out at a parade and their junk is hanging out, they're not asking for forgiveness. So what forgiveness is there to give? They're not repentant. So is it really our responsibility to do anything with that other than walk away, shield our children's eyes, protect ourselves? Because they don't have a repentant heart. They're not turning away from anything. So if we're taking that particular example, then is there anything for us to actually do?
Pepper spray. Sorry.
Okay, I agree.
Right. We need to get some memberships going. We need to get some subscribers so we can put the wood chipper in the chat and call for wood chippers in the chat.
Oh my god, the wood chipper, not the wood chipper,
not the wood chipper. All right. Anyway.
Yeah, I agree with you, Leia. It's like there's a difference in between that, but then again, it's like I'm willing to. I would be more willing if somebody came to me and asked me, "Hey, what can I do?" I would be more willing to help them, or try to find a regenerative process so that they can have a better idea, a better life, or something. But
Right.
if it is but that is again, that's like the duty as a Christian that I would have when it comes to them committing a crime or doing something that's completely unacceptable in society. The state is there for a reason, right? We're supposed to have laws, and we're supposed to follow the majority. Well, it's not even the majority. We live in a kind of a democracy, which is dumb, but we still have like a ethical framework that we're supposed to follow, and that is what that's the point. It's like we follow the ethical framework, and if we're not going to accept that, we cannot accept people drinking a lot of grape juice, for example.
Fair.
It's just unacceptable.
True. Like Homestead, could you imagine pepper spray on the privates? Ouch. Ouch
Yeah.
is
Can't.
putting it lightly there.
Don't give them ideas, okay? They have.
That's funny. Yeah, so for anybody that's watching up in the far right upper corner, that's my emoji. That's the wood chipper emoji, because you can see my chat in the stream. Anywho, moving on. Anybody else on that? If you haven't joined the Discord, please join the Discord. It's a good fun. It's a good time. Trust me, I have a good time with my emojis. Go ahead, Jay.
Last week, didn't we touch on the subject a little bit last week? And was it Leia or Homestead that was talking about having a previous addiction and the shame didn't actually help them?
Oh, sure, yeah. So you go ahead, Emmett. You go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Yes, I watched that, and as you can say, it's a non. That's what I said. That it's a non sequitur, right? It's like I understand that we care about the people who have addiction, but up to a point. When it comes to general population, I care about general population a lot more, especially when it comes to how we what exactly are we doing when it comes to preventing certain actions. So
Yeah.
I want, when it comes to the general population, I want being a being a whore, I would be like, no, you can't do this kind of shit. It's completely shameful, unacceptable. And maybe the people that are already whores would be like, oh God, why me? It's like, yeah, well, you already are one. It's like, I don't care about you when it comes to the general population. We can work with you to get to a regenerative process so that you can come back. But
There has to be
I'm
some
not.
desire.
But I don't give a. I don't care. But it's not about you at this point. I don't care about you as an individual. I care about the general population, so that next generation, so the kids or the people who are, in that moment, who are like, do I do an OnlyFans or not?
Right.
Okay, they can get the actual. They can get the we can get to the point of, no, this is shameful, this is absolutely bad, and this is going to be like how you're going to be seen by the general people. And that's a great difference between one and the other. So yeah, it might not be helpful for the people that have a problem, but I don't care about them. We can work with them later. General population, I care about them being being as shameful as act as possible, so that we avoid the most amount of people getting into those places.
It's fair.
Sure. I would agree that in a public setting, you put out in a large setting, you can put out the shame. I think in, like you said, in a private setting, you can either deal with the people later or know the people that you're dealing with. Some people are going to respond very well to shame. MSM said, like they have to be willing to change. And so some people are going to respond to the shame tactics and they're going to go, oh, that's what everybody thinks of me. Okay, I'm going to flip my life around. While others are going to give you the middle finger and turn around.
Yeah, they're fully enveloped in their addiction and fully devoted to the process. Those people are hard to break.
Yeah.
We're going to go there.
It's like I was visiting some family a couple weeks ago, and I have a uncle who is a raging alcoholic. And not only is it kind of dependent on the type of person and their type of personality, but it's also kind of dependent on who they're receiving it from. So in like this particular example, he's a raging alcoholic. He has been through the rehabs twice. He's done really, really well with them. And then something happens in his life. He falls back off the wagon and spirals downhill, whatnot. No one in my family can talk to him about his, well,
sorry,
it actually was, yes.
Oh, shit. Oh, sorry, ladies. I didn't mean... Anyway, sorry, go ahead. Moving forward.
But none of my family can talk to him because he won't receive it from them. When they try to shame him or try to help him and try to, oh, we'll walk alongside you, we'll help you, we'll be there for you, he won't receive it no matter what they say. When I went and saw him, I haven't seen him in over a year. I walked in and I said, good God, man, you look like shit. And he said, yeah, I should probably go to the hospital.
Oh, shit.
And we went. He took it from me. So not only the individuals, but also the person that's delivering the message. How is that going to be received by that individual?
Sure.
Yeah, family's usually the hardest one to get that message across.
Oh, yeah.
It's fair too, yeah. It's kind of like Birds in the chat. Birds aren't even real says intense, unbearable shame is the only thing that it was able to stop me from using. All other attempts failed. This was long ago. Birds, and as always, we will give a good solid shout out for sobriety. We always love that. And we are here for anybody that ever needs any support. Please join the Discord. If you want to join the panel, please join the panel. We need as many views and as many opinions as we can get up here on anything that we can get. Going forward, you guys can go ahead and have the floor again.
Yes.
Go ahead,
I'm having a side debate with Leah on the side.
That was why panel. I got distracted too, as I looked at what she was saying. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, it's just a reiteration, right? It's like I'm not trying to be mean directly to the people who have any kind of addiction. I understand that they're dealing with a problem. It's a two-tier it's a two-tier system, unfortunately, right? When it comes to how you treat the general population and how you're gonna deal with things when it comes to the general public, and what kind of propaganda you're gonna try to make for the people around you. And propaganda really affects people. You can see it. You can even see it in the kind of culture that we have right now, the kind of culture that was in the 90s, the kind of culture was in the 80s. The different kind of culture will affect how people act and how people perceive things around them. Especially when it comes to women, for some reason. A woman on panel can probably talk about that. But it is it is affecting to the general population, and there's a difference between someone that's already having a problem and how we should try to act with them, and how we treat the general public on what kind of actions are we accepting, and what kind of things. So yes, it is. Shame is a little bit of a harsh thing to do, maybe, but it's very effective. Okay, that's why we want to bring back shame to the horse, for example, because it's really effective, and we have a problem with that, considering that 10 to 20%. I don't remember exact term about the girls that are around 18 to 25 how OF counts right now.
Pretty sure it's 10.
Insane that you have one in
10. Yep.
Yeah, it's insane that you have one in every
That's
10 is
disgusting.
doing that.
It's beyond disgusting, especially being in the field myself. Yeah.
So it's a problem that we're having. It's a problem that we have with destroying this kind of shaming. It's also a problem when it comes to general population stuff. They told how much they told us that the devil lettuce consumption, if we take away if we just make it legal and take away all of the stigma out of it, it was going to be better for everybody, and it's not better for everybody.
No, was it Portugal tried that with drugs? Like in 2016 or something?
I understand that. I understand the data. The data shows that it's not successful for the people that are already having an addiction. Okay? They're trying to figure out if the people who have an addiction, if shaming is successful for them. Okay? My claim is that is fine. I don't care if it works for them or not. I care about the general population. In the general population, it's effective to avoid people falling into addiction. That is the difference, and that's where I'm coming from. And I care about general population not having those kind of problems and getting away from those kind of problems. Do I care later if somebody has an addiction, try to help them? Sure, but the general population has to be protected in that sense.
Sure. Dave does ask a question in the chat. It says, on that note, it was a bit ago now, but most amount of shame as possible, in quotes. Back in the day, they used to make you walk through town butt naked while the town folk yelled and spit on you to shame you. Is that what you're proposing that we go back to? Anybody on the panel?
Would it work?
I mean, it depends on what we're shaming for, I guess.
He follows up with,
I don't want to see it.
Sorry, go ahead.
I personally don't want to see somebody walking down the street naked to spit on them. Like, that's, to me, that
is fair.
Doesn't seem like an effective way to convey a message or write a situation.
It's fair.
But I don't discourage word chippers for certain situations either. So
right. Dave,
we should all own one.
Dave follows it up in the chat.
Sometimes
says,
you have wood chippers.
He's not talking about drugs.
Cages.
He's not talking about drugs because that's a whole different topic. I'm talking about the more serious stuff, the more extreme, red rum.
Yeah. I think it should be more brutal than the naked walk and spit.
Yeah.
So on that note,
I don't agree.
Go ahead.
Like, I agree with shame. I agree with shame. Okay, I agree with it. But usually I do it through, let's call it, a public display of justice. It involves usually square or out in the field, and people like trees and they go a little bit up on a tree. That's the way I would do that kind of thing. It's a little bit different.
To Dave's question, I would have to, I think, differentiate between things that are legal and things that are illegal. And in that case, for things that are illegal, I don't think that would be an effective way to shame somebody.
No, because they don't care.
Right. For the most part. So I would have to distinguish between an illegal act and a legal act for that.
Fair. Prentice in the chat says, how are we defining shame? Anybody?
Well, shame is a general attitude from the general population towards an action in which the action is considered to be bad and to be something horrible. Hey, Leia. Perfect. I can just answer. I can just go ahead and have the conversation now instead of typing it out.
Right.
Unfortunately, we have like 9 minutes left, but yeah.
Fair. Yeah, go
I'm
at it.
sorry. I'd love to be here earlier, but I had to put kiddos to bed and say their prayers with them and all that good stuff.
Yes, it's all your fault.
The important stuff.
I mean,
Of
we
course.
want results though, not excuses.
That's right.
Yes. This is.
That's
I'm
good.
gonna. Thank you for shaming that action. I agree with you.
Hey, it's a baseball coach thing, I think.
That's funny.
Love that. Love that. No, I don't have a problem with shame, by the way, if it works. I don't think shame for shame's sake. I just feel like it's kind of useless. Like, yeah, you're a big meanie, but I don't really care about that part. You can be as mean as you want, I guess. It's you can deal with your creator for that, right? It's just that I want to do the thing that's most pragmatic that works. Is it mental?
Yeah, well, let me give you an example. One of the ways that the Planned Parenthood, the best way that they created their business model is they go to schools, they take away a lot of the shame that was directly tied up with coomerism by giving sex ed to kids. And what they do is they give away a lot of protection, in quotes, protection, so that people can have safe, again quotation, sex. And what they expect is people are going to fuck it up. Okay, they're going to do the action that was beforehand being seen as completely shameful. They're going to get the result that we expect out of that action, and then they're going to come in and save the day. And that is the way that they have done the business model. It's literally taking away shame so that they promote a specific action so that they can come in and do the most horrible action ever possible. So I don't understand what is this thing about you telling me that it doesn't work for the general population.
Well. I never argued that it didn't work on the general population generally. I argued with this one specific instance because I've talked on the panel many times about, for example, slut shaming. I bring back slut shaming, right? Feminist shaming, all kinds of shaming. Totally down.
Drug shaming too. I want people who are drug addicts to be shamed. To be ashamed for being drug addicts.
It seems
like I said, I mean, if it works, why not, right? It's just that we actually see in the data that that's not the case. And the thing is, what we want is not, hold on, what we want is for these people to get treatment and live to find God and become productive members of society, not to just OD alone on the side of the road in a ditch somewhere, right? Because if that's the case and we love them like our brothers and sisters in Christ, we would want to save them from this hardship of addiction. And in order to do that, we need them to be alive.
Right. They're not necessarily my brothers and sisters in Christ, right?
Really? I thought we were all brothers and sisters in Christ.
Nope. What is
unless they're Wiccan or Muslim.
Nope. That's not the way that it works. Okay? You have Let me explain this, because most people think, oh, you're a human being. That means that you are a brother and sister in Christ. That's not the way. You need to submit to God.
Hey, Bert,
okay,
good to see you.
in order for you to may have a possibility to become one. Okay? You need to be saying, first off, yes, Jesus Christ is God. Yes, he is the Savior. Yes, I'm going to believe in all of the I'm gonna be a Christian. Okay? You need to have the faith in order to have the possibility of being brother in a brother in Christ, per se. It's not something that's given freely out of anything. And this is the point that I'm going for. It's like, I understand that we have compassion out of people, but compassion cannot go beyond what we ought to do. It's not we're gonna give it to everybody and everybody is gonna be kumbaya. That's not the way that it works. The fact that we
I would argue that we are called to give compassion to everyone, even who aren't our brothers and sisters in Christ. I would argue Christ does compel us to do that, not to our own detriment, right? Not like a self-deleting level of compassion or empathy, but a baseline level, surely.
Okay, so we need to give compassion and empathy. Okay, why shouldn't I? Why, if it is the case that we find a bunch of Muslim, grape juice enjoyers, a bunch of them in the general population, why shouldn't we, if we are the main people, just forgive them and let them free? And if they do it again, we just give them once again compassion and forgiveness, and then do it again, and we just keep on doing that. Why shouldn't we do that?
Well, because it's not an apples to apples comparison. No, it's not right. It's not the same. Because see,
no, it is. Why
hold on. Let me explain. Because people who drink grape juice, especially children, but really of anyone, etc., right? They harm society as a whole. Not to mention, they are. I don't care what anyone says. I've seen data to back this up. They are incapable of being helped. Now, you want to talk spiritually? Well, they can talk to our creator about it, and I can help arrange the meeting, and we can put it on primetime Sunday and get America out of this debt. I'm totally cool with that, right? But at the end of the day, they harm society as a whole.
Perfect. I think that drug addicts do the same thing, and they are incapable to being helped because only 2% of them get out of their life anyway. So if that is the case,
I would argue that they only don't.
If I'm only thinking pragmatically when it comes to how the population should work, I don't care about them. I just want the general population to avoid that action as much as possible so that they don't become one of the 98%. Right?
Well, I don't think anyone could argue in good faith that addicts do even a modicum of as much damage to society. But even if they did, I would also argue that unlike the person that is a child hurter,
this guy is the one I keep talking about.
Right?
Go check his stream out.
They are not just choosing some action that came out of anywhere. I mean, you want to talk about a society or a population within our society that is actually owed something by perhaps the government or some sector nearby the government. We could talk about the opioid crisis that Big Pharma, Purdue, all these, shady pharmacological characters took part in to literally lie to people, tell them that these drugs were in fact not addictive, not just tell them that they were safe, but go a step further to say they will help your pain and not become addicted, paid doctors to settle them, hid the science, etc. These are proven. We know this, right? And yet,
absolutely. I will shame them and I will put them in the middle of the square and I will just go ahead and provide justice for them too. That's fine.
But we're still seeing the echoes of that.
This is not a what about them. Okay, I understand they did wrong.
No. I'm not doing a what about it.
Okay, but when it comes to,
I'm saying this is a pipeline.
It's a pipeline. I will. My solution to both is give justice to both. Okay, on one end, I want as much. I understand.
Thank you for posting that, Dave. Please go check that out, guys.
Has a problem.
If you haven't, please go check that stream out.
In the general population, I would make it as shameful as possible so that the least amount of people have that kind of problem.
Joe,
and
you're an OG, man.
When it comes to them
it's good to see you, buddy.
I have a different, it's like general population has a specific way of dealing with it. I'm not going to take away shame. I'm going to make it as shameful as possible. When it comes to the people, especially if they need help, especially if say something, for example, that was prescribed as something good, we would try to give them compassion, try to get them away from that issue. And when it comes to Big Pharma doing something absolutely horrible, yeah, of course, I would take the CEO. I would go on and probably put every single ounce of justice necessary so that it never happens again. And those are three different things that I will keep so that the general population will have it. I will shame is necessary for the people so
Fair.
that we don't
You're
fall
an
into those kind of
OT, an
actions.
original Tater.
Just as much as justice is necessary for the people who commit crimes and do things that are horrible so that they are prevented. And also because their soul needed. Your soul needs justice.
Sure, and I also I'm not trying. Loud noises. Sorry about that. I'm not trying to put on some type of front as if like all addicts are helpless creatures who have also never been a criminal, etc. Right? I have a history. We've talked about this. I'm open about it. Whatever. Like we all make mistakes. Surely, some of us don't get caught or do or only get caught some of the time. Just whatever happens. However, I think the shame should end where the path to healing begins. When me and Vosh during our debate, our discussion, the thing that I brought up is I'm trying to argue that the shame should not exist specifically within the clinical setting, and it should not be the type of shame that follows you forever. Because something as an addict that any addict could back me up on is once you get that black mark on your medical history, on your criminal history, it never goes away. And unfortunately, when someone, say at the pharmacy or a cop that pulls you over at 2 a.m. on a Saturday night can only see X amount of your record, right? They don't see how much you give back to the community, how much you changed your life, et cetera, et cetera. They only see that criminal history or that pharmacological record, whatever it might be. So I think that the shame should at least end where the healing begins. I don't mind to use shame as a tool, but to use it excessively to where it turns people away from help is just nonsensical to me.
Yeah, understood. And I can agree with some of it, right? I can actually have the idea of, yeah, I agree with parts of it. I agree with some of the ideas of it. Obviously, I don't have a problem with law enforcement being like, oh, this person may have a problem with toxicology, and they having that in mind whenever you have a history of it, especially because it affects the way that you act and it will affect the way that they approach you. Let us remember that the police has a dangerous job. They deal with us, with scumbags of society as much as they deal with general population. So it is, unfortunately, it's something that we have to take into account. That's why we thank them for their service, right?
Oh, sure,
So
we can have a whole
I
discussion about that because I respect the good cops. Yeah, I'm with you.
I understand, and I also get the idea of, hey, we need to have the capacity to forgiveness and have problem with that. It's just what I'm talking about is shame is absolutely necessary for the young population. And you know what? As someone who has dealt with sin, because everybody has dealt with sin, one of the things that I dislike about a lot of Christian ideation is that you kind of shut out your sin, right? It's like, oh, I used to be a scumbag. Like, I would feel shamed for being I feel ashamed for being a scumbag. That's how I feel. I don't want to talk about it because I feel ashamed of it, right? I want to be a different person. I don't want to go out and be like, yeah, I used to be a scumbag. It's the worst. Everybody has obviously
But
sins that deal
again,
with it,
that's one way.
but it's not like you
That's one
want
way
to. It's
addiction's
not like you want
different.
to do it. No, it isn't. What are you talking about?
Oh, absolutely. People's testimony is what saves other people's lives. You think that I should just shut up about my past and never show people how far I've come
It would
because I'm
depend,
ashamed of
right?
something I did?
Once I wouldn't go if somebody comes to me and they're like, hey, I wanna know about this, or can you help me when it comes to the idea of Christianity? I'm dealing with this. I would be more than happy to help them and guide them. But if it's just like some douchebag on the
It
internet,
usually
that's
is,
asking me,
Craig,
oh,
that we
well, tell
have
me about
about
why you're
5 that
Christian.
we
It's like, no, you're a
sometimes
douchebag. Why
move
would I
through.
tell you something that is, one, personal, and two, it is it's none of your fucking business, right? Christianity is
It's
not
very
I
much
can't
about
not.
going
disagree
out
there.
there and flagellating yourself.
But it's not even about the Christianity, although everything is about the Christianity, right? When talking about
Yes.
recovery generally or specifically, I always say we recover out loud so others don't die in silence. And that's kind of the idea. If I have this conversation, who knows? Because almost every time I've had a conversation like this, someone's reached out to me and said, hey, I have a problem. Hey, my uncle is struggling, because I'm not just in recovery. I work with people in the community. I have lots of resources, et cetera, right? Who knows who I could help
Correct, but
just by
this
mentioning it.
correct, but this is look for the compassion side, right? This is what I was talking about, being me, being a big meanie. This is what I'm saying when it comes to. I'm not saying that compassion is wrong. What I'm saying is,
Hey, Pharmacat, it's good to
I
see
understand
ya.
that you want
Hope
to
you're doing
help
all
people.
right.
I understand that you
It's
want to
always good
do
to see you
things
in
that
the
are
chat.
right for people, right? We can agree with that.
Obviously, yeah. Mm-hmm.
When it comes to the general population, I don't really care directly about you when it comes to the general population. I care that the general population is okay and they're doing fine. I care about them more than I would care
I
about you
agree.
directly.
Well, no, I completely agree. But wouldn't it benefit greater society if all of these addicts people have given up on could like magically get clean tomorrow? Wouldn't that be
Yeah, it
magical?
would. Yeah, it would be great if people didn't sin anymore, but that's not how the world works, right? You wanna shame sin as much as possible, and you wanna help people, to get through the sin at the same time. So you shame it in the general population, so people don't sin. They get away from it as much as possible. And once again, when it comes to dead people, yeah, okay, you show that you're a better person. You show to society that you have changed. You show things are improving. People are more than willing to forgive you. We can move forward, but it doesn't mean that blemish is not necessarily going away. It's not going to go away immediately, but we're not necessarily going to dwell on it. And the young population would still you will still see that action as shameful, because you still want to shame that. You still want people to stay clear of it.
I feel like we're just going to have to agree to disagree, because what I see, and I know it's like, oh, yeah, back out, but I see the points that
Yeah,
you're making. They just don't pragmatically make sense. It's not even about like anecdotally, I'm personally involved. The data shows that it doesn't work. So,
pragmatically, it makes sense, because pragmatically, why would I care about 2% of people who survive, right? It's like, it's a minority of people, 2%, that only 2% get recovery. Why the hell do I care? At that point, I
oh,
just
wait a
want to
minute. Wait
shame
a
it as
minute.
much as
Don't
possible.
you argue? Don't you argue for all of the babies that are snorted, even if it's
Yeah, of
only
course.
2%? It's by the exception. What makes their life more
No,
inherently
it's not the
valuable than an
exception.
addict?
I don't care about the exception, right? I would do it because of the generality.
Right, because their
I
life
do it.
is
I do it
worthy,
of the
right?
generality.
Uh,
Because, well, there's a lot of reasons why. If I see it as a statesman, it would be out of justice. So what justice I am doing by deleting a person that is not even alive and there's no way of doing anything, right?
but isn't that
I mean,
an
sure,
argument toward deletion, toward
Justice
towards susmartion?
justice is an argument towards deletion.
But if it's not alive yet, or isn't alive
No, it's
anymore,
alive. I said it's a person.
sure. MSM,
It's a person. It's alive.
MSM, you look like you've tried to come in. Do you have something to say?
No, it just through all of that, it really seems like shame works best if done in small doses in personal settings and peer groups. I don't think
yes,
general
agreed.
shame. I don't think general shame has much of an effect on anybody. I don't think most people care what the general population thinks about them.
Well, I
But
disagree. If you look at the 90s, there was a lot of shame with being a whore, right? Huge amount of shame. And it
but
was
that was
taken little by
also
little.
it was also within the peer groups in the 90s. Like the peer groups of girls that went to school with me would shame each other if they were doing something ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but once again, that's because the general culture at the time would see that as shameful.
It's fair.
So the mothers would say, "Hey, that's shameful," and
Well,
everybody would
I
be
don't
in the
disagree
same
with that at all.
stand
Yeah, I
into
don't
it.
disagree at all that the general population has to have an idea of what that shame is. But I think shame works best in those personal peer group settings. I think that's where it's going to be most effective.
Just by
And that was
just by
another one of my
saying
points. Go ahead,
just by
sorry.
saying this directly, when it comes, I said that's a statesman. I'm thinking about justice. Okay, if person has not committed any kind of action that would merit the the death penalty,
Well, that's where we have to
it would be
distinguish between legal and
it
illegal
would be
action.
an
Right. Yeah.
well, it would be a yeah. What kind of action does a baby in the womb commits that warranties the death penalty?
Right. Exactly.
That's the
yeah.
question.
You're good.
Right, and what does an addict do that they deserve the death penalty?
Right.
They all out of their willing decide to do something, right? At least it's an action. The fact that they are doing the action of consuming, that is an action they're taking on their own. But what I'm saying is, if they're gonna commit it to the point in which they are self-deleting, that's the action they're doing, and I'm still gonna shame that. It's shameful to do something like that. Okay, but what kind of action is the baby doing? That I wanna ask that question. I want an answer to that question.
Oh, none. I'm not disagreeing that the baby is completely innocent. My point in comparing the two wasn't to say that a baby is in any way deserving, even somewhat to a level that an addict could possibly be. That wasn't my point. My point was to say that,
Okay.
I bring it up because I've heard you argue, even when people argue for the exceptions, which make up less than 2% of all misfortunes, right? I've heard you argue, I don't care if it's 2, I don't care if it's 8, like, it's too many.
Yes,
So my
but
point
it's
was like,
no, it's not that. My point is at this point, the general population has taken abortion to such degree that I don't care about the exceptions. I will make those women martyrs so that we have the most amount of babies to live.
oh, I don't disagree. I've gone further than that. I've been called a monster up and down because of the 2 or 3 deaths that happened in Texas because stupid doctors did not understand the law, not because of pro-life laws, but that's what the lefties want to blame it on. I've gone far enough to say, well, maybe a few more of these can happen and we'll learn our lesson about it, huh? Like, perhaps if the ultimate result of trying to get this kind of a care, which is illegal in your state, would be death, that would teach a lesson to somebody who would try to do that, wouldn't it? It's ironic that death is what you're trying to give someone else, and it's what you get. These types of statements.
Yeah, but it's that's out of justice, right? Because I'm caring about the innocent life, and it's about justice at that point. I'm still doing what is correct in accordance to justice. I'm not doing these
justice and humanity, basic humanity.
What the fuck? What has humanity to do with anything? First off, humanism is of the devil, 100%.
I mean, I would say you value the child's humanity as they will be a future child of God, surely, right? Possibly. Hopefully.
By saying they care about their humanity, it's like humanity has deleted about 70 million babies in the past 100 years, just in the US. It's
okay.
Do you really care that much about the humanities? Like, is that a value that I care for?
Well, we're not talking about society as a whole. I was specifically asking you. You care about the children.
Yes, because they're innocent, right? And my duty, it's a duty-based system. I have a duty to them because my duty is to help, to preserve them, is to sustain them. My duty as a person is to protect the babies. That is my duty.
Is it to protect other weaker people, like the diseased and the infirm?
Maybe it might be necessary. It might be the case in some cases it isn't, right?
I would never ignore
because
you.
My question would be like,
don't ignore anybody.
It might be the case, for example, that they put themselves in that situation, and as a society, maybe my duty is not to do that, so that people don't do that kind of things.
This feels a little, what was she wearing? This type of conversation we're going into. Because the thing is,
Yeah,
like,
you should.
as much as we
You shouldn't
know,
dress like a whore.
well, I hate
That doesn't.
somebody's going to
You
call me a
shouldn't.
feminist for saying it. I don't think I think you should dress conservative, act conservative, always pay attention to your surroundings, never take a drink from a stranger, etc. However, even if you go somewhere dressed like a slore, I don't believe
Hey,
you deserve
Beatrix, good
grape
to see you.
juice. That would be wild, in
Good to
my
No,
see
opinion.
you. As always, I hope
again,
you're
those
doing
are
well.
two different things, right? The grape juice enjoyer would go into a tree. I have a problem with that. Will be completely wrong. That doesn't mean that you should dress like a whore either. Those are two different
No,
actions.
I don't disagree.
One action doesn't the fact that one action happened doesn't make the other action okay. Those are both actions
Oh,
are wrong in their own way, and you can
beautiful.
go on and do
No,
you can
that's
go ahead
beautiful.
It's always
take
the white
something.
shirt.
You can go ahead and be like, hey, you shouldn't do these. I'm gonna shame you for doing this. It's dumb. That doesn't mean that it should happen to you. Fine, we can agree
Right.
with
So we
that.
should have like compassion and help you. Right. Right.
No,
That's where you're going with
well,
this.
yeah, I agree with compassion.
Right.
Yes, I'm not
Because
gonna
here's the thing,
go in the
you
general
could say that
population.
about the addict. You could say that about the addict. You think anybody picks
Yeah.
up their first rug with a D and thinks, oh, I'm going to be a gunky with a J here in 6 months and lie to all the people I love and destroy my life? You think anybody thinks that the first time they smoke a little weed or have a drink? No, of course
No,
not. It's not how it
they
works.
think oh no they think it's gonna be great. This is what I saw in a movie that people enjoyed, and it's gonna be great. We can do it. It's gonna be awesome. Okay, instead of realizing that there's a big
Maybe.
problem, and maybe if we had an actual shaming culture in which it's like, no, this kind of taking this, instead of having the movie. It's not Euro Trip is one of them, but the one where they are in a hotel and they're completely out of their minds and they have to find a friend. I don't remember what is the actual name of the movie.
Oh,
Instead of having
the
those kind of
hangover. The
yeah,
hangover.
hangover. Instead of having those kind of propaganda movies, which are just saying that consuming is perfectly fine, we would have something like, oh, look at what actually happened. They destroyed their lives. They're actually doing all this kind of stuff. It's a shameful act. We ought not do it. And
I mean, I
that
would
is
argue we
different
do
from one
with like
another.
intervention and shows like this. I mean, they've tried to push like recovery propaganda, if you will, for a long time. It doesn't get the ratings because people love, blood and guts and gore and heartbreaking, terrible stories, not stories of recovery, which is messed up. At least when it comes to like
No,
what you watch TV for, right?
I disagree. I think there is. I think one of the big problems that we have had in the past 10 to 20 years is the kind of propaganda we are producing and consuming, and obviously it goes on. It goes hand in hand, right? We 60s. I don't know if it's in the 60s or in the 70s. We had like the Ten Commandments. Great movie. Everybody watched it. Okay. Do we have a difference in how the culture moved along with the kind of propaganda we produce and the kind of propaganda we are making? That is the point I'm saying. It's like,
Sure.
hey, this is the thing that we want. We want to shame these kind of actions as much as possible. I understand when it comes to the addict side. Yes, in the addict side, it is not necessarily helpful for them. It can be a problem that they don't talk, that they don't seek for help, they don't have. Fine, I understand that's a problem for them. I am not against showing compassion to them, especially if it's something minor like an addiction. I say minor; it can become something greater, but let's say that it's something that they can recover from, right? Something that they can recover from. I don't find immoral to find compassion to get them help they need. That doesn't mean that I'm gonna destroy my society by removing the stigma and the shame. I want them to be as ashamed as they can be, okay, so that people avoid those kind of actions as much as possible.
I mean, I just, like I said, I don't disagree with that 99% of the time. Just in this one case, as I said, if it worked, great. But, another anecdotal,
Good to
it's
see you, Bandit.
anecdotal. I know
Appreciate
anecdotes,
the
but
engagement.
I know
Yeah.
myself, I grew up around several addicts. And I don't just mean like, oh, this person took a little too many of their medication. Like, I mean, destroyed their life, couldn't leave your purse around them type of family members. And like friends of family, right? And I knew exactly what kind of road I could go down if I tried rugs with a D. But I still did it because I was young
Appreciate
and dumb
the
and thought I was
engagement, Craig.
invincible, like
It's
we
an
all did when
interesting
we
take.
were
I
young,
appreciate
right?
the
Maybe not
feedback.
related to, rugs with a D, but just generally. And I know plenty
No,
of addicts who say the same thing, right? You always think you're the exception. That's just
well,
how, use works.
Well, I would tell you my story if that's the case. I'm from Mexico. I don't know if you know this place. They have a bunch of drugs over there. They're really good
Sure.
at
Pretty sure that's a
trafficking
hangover.
around. Some of my best friends were complete addicts. One of them is kind of recovering from alcohol.
My bad.
Okay.
10 Commandments.
And
My bad.
Thank God.
and I was inside that kind of world for a long time. And one of the things that kept me away from even using them is I was afraid of becoming an addict. And I thought it was shameful to be an addict. I still think it's shameful to be an addict. And that
Sure.
action probably saved my life, because I was like, they were like, "Hey, have another drink." And I was like, I'm okay, thank you.
I'm
I
good
don't want to. Okay. Or,
Yeah.
thank God I'm not like super into I've never been super into drinking, but at the same time I do measure myself on those actions as much as possible, because I don't want
Well, and that's
I don't want to
respectable.
fall into addiction.
And that's very respectable. And I had that attitude too, at one point before I fell into it. And, a lot of people do. I think that one of the major problems, and I obviously have no data to prove this, although I might just search it up because I've never really thought about it until recently. But all of these secular programs that are aiming to help people are, in my opinion, what could be majority failing. Because I know, again, just anecdotally, most of the people I've seen go through intensive Christian programs that don't say like, oh, your higher power, and like disguise God as some friendly person you can just kind of choose and make up as you wish, are the ones who are successful, the ones who are ready and willing to have radical accountability and take responsibility, etc. And I do agree that positive propaganda and even sometimes shame could steer us more toward that type of an attitude as a culture. But my point remains, when it comes to the clinical side, as in rehabs, doctors, pharmacists, all those types, shame has no place. Because when somebody shows up and they've already done the hard part, and they say, look, I'm in trouble and I need help, and they're coming to you as a medical professional, shame does nothing. Zero.
Oh, no.
Except push them away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand that, and I agree with it. I'm talking about the difference between the general population, like in the general population.
When I was doing drugs,
there's a
I
difference
never
between
cared. I didn't care about shame at all. I didn't
Right.
care that anybody
That was
knew
my
I was even
point.
doing
Yeah.
it. I didn't care at
No,
all.
So
I agree that
I
you
quit.
don't care about it. When once you're an addict, you're already doing it, right? It's like
I didn't care before I was an addict.
right.
Yeah, well,
So,
but imagine
the
this.
only-
Imagine you can get completely disowned by your family, and they're
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
see you as a
Oh, yeah.
complete an abject failure. Would you care about that if it was the case?
I didn't. No.
Oh, I've seen people that, I went through that.
Yeah.
I've seen people like the rich folks that I
So-
went to rehab with. Yeah.
When I hit my knees
that
in
is the
front of
case.
my parents' house,
If you don't care about your family and you're in that situation, I don't care about. I don't care about. I really don't give a fuck. Okay, that is the case. If you're gonna act that way against your own family, why?
yes, a lot of
why
us
me?
will.
Yeah, well, why
had-
me as the state should be giving a fuck about what you do?
You shouldn't.
I will
You
care.
shouldn't.
Exactly, perfect. So I would take into account when it comes to people that are recovering. Sure, I will give them all of the grace that I can and try to help them. But when it comes to the general population, if you're willing to do that kind of crap, you can go and meet your creator. Fine with that.
Yeah.
Well, you're definitely allowed to have that opinion. But as far as like, why would you care about someone who would do deplorable things when it comes to addicts specifically? Because they're actually not themselves. When they're in that state of mind, and this is not excuse making, because I am one of the most accountable people I know. It's really not an excuse. The rugs with a D actually change your brain on a molecular, chemical, biological level in ways you cannot control. That's why this whole thing that it's just a moral failing, that you're just coming up short as a person, that's been perpetuated in society, is dangerous and it's untrue, right? And so why would you care about them? Because hopefully, if you could get them out of that haze, you could see who they really are. And if they're still a POS, then fine, feed them to the sharks. But maybe they could contribute to our society.
before they did the action, was there like a change in a molecular level in their brain?
Was that a question? I'm sorry.
Yes. So let's say that I'm gonna never taken drugs. I'm just gonna take my first hit. At that point, did I have a change in the molecular level of my brain?
Maybe temporarily, but not long term. No, it takes long term usage.
No,
Well-
what I'm saying is before I did it, I didn't have any changes in my brain. I am doing the action willingly. If I'm doing the action willingly,
yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah.
suffer the consequences of my action.
Well-
If the consequences, I'm gonna be shamed because it's a shameful action, then I have to take that responsibility. Okay, that is part of how I should act. I'm not gonna go ahead and this is something that I see a lot of people do, and this is why we are in a position that we have to lead it like 60 million at this point 70 million babies. It has to do with not taking any accountability for your actions. We have to take accountability for the actions that we take, especially in a society, and especially the government
I don't
has to be the
disagree.
one that says, hey, yeah, this is, if you're going to be consuming, you're going to become an addict. And once you're an addict, it's going to be completely shameful.
I don't
And-
think Leah
I
ever
don't
argued
disagree.
against
Hold-
the
All right,
accountability.
hold on, guys. Hold on. So, there's two other people on the panel. Let's remember that, please. MSM has been trying to come in for a minute, and Apprentice has been on the panel for a bit, and he wants to say his piece too. So, MSM, go ahead and have your time real quick, and then I'll give it over to Apprentice real quick.
I mean, my situation was a little different than what Leah describes and what a lot of addicts go through, but I had a come to God moment. So that was more powerful than my addiction was at the time. And I was addicted to stuff, fentanyl, dope, drugs. But I didn't touch it after that day. And I haven't touched it since, and that was 18, 19 years ago.
Praise God. I'm glad you're here, man.
Indeed.
Well, I had a fuck it attitude from the time I was probably 11 or 12 until I was almost married. So my situation was a little different. But I still go back to, I do think shame works best in personal peer group settings. It wouldn't have worked for me because I didn't care. When I cared,
Hey,
cared
Werewolf, good
because
to see you, buddy. Good to
I
see
knew
you.
I was completely lost and I couldn't get myself out of it. So I turned to God, and He did something immediately to me, whatever that was. So it's a little bit of a unique situation. And I'm a little confused by, can both of you guys steel man your position right now?
Yeah, my position is very simple. My position is when it comes to the general population, I want this to be completely shamed. I don't want anybody to think or to have this idea that it's just fun and games. Okay, it's like you're gonna take.
Right, I got that. I got all that.
You don't.
Hey,
you don't
Barn,
fuck,
good to see you,
fine,
buddy.
It's fine. I don't. I
look
literally
into
when
the
it comes to the
description.
position is I don't care directly
Best I
about what
can give
happens if that's the case. You're gonna be responsible for your actions, and we're gonna see it as a shameful act.
And
we
if
are
anybody
gonna
doesn't
see
know,
you
he
as a
has his own
shameful-
show
as
too,
a person
Barn.
that commits something
Give
that
him
is
some love.
incredibly shameful. Okay, if you come to a setting in which you are asking for help, we're gonna give you compassion. We might find you a way to recovery. But the action in of itself is always going to be shameful. It's going to be seen as shameful. And maybe you don't give a fuck because, at the moment that you do it, fine. But I want the general population to be like, yeah, this is unacceptable. We're not going to accept it. We're going to see you as lesser for it.
Okay. What did Smortion come in there? How did that come in?
It was just
That was kind of my fault. That was my fault. I'll take
Okay.
that one.
It's a little
Okay,
bit of
so what-
I'm
what's-
mentioning it, and I mentioned it because the way that the abortionist, especially for someone like Planned Parenthood, that the way they've committed or the business model works is they.
Okay,
and
I
this
got
is
all
why-
that. I got all that. Yeah, I got that.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
it's because of the business model. They take away shame, they promote the action, and it ends up with them having, they having a
Right.
business. Let's call it
So,
that.
Leah, what's your position on the shame and the abuse? the D abuse.
Sure. Well, like
Thank you, mods, for posting those.
yeah, well, like I said when I before I even came in, like in the chat text, I was only really ever arguing, like from the clinical standpoint. I wasn't even arguing that within society greater as a whole, shame
So culturally, you think shame's okay?
Yeah, Dave.
I mean,
I'm sorry,
I think
Barn.
it's
Yes,
fine.
it is.
I don't have a problem with the shame. I'm just arguing it's maybe not the best way to go about it pragmatically. I don't think that it's the best
Thank you, Vosh.
resource we can use to actually help people. But as far as having a problem, no, I don't have. I mean, shame whoever you want. It's not about like beefing, you know.
Okay. So clinically,
We appreciate you, Barn.
in a clinical setting, in a one-on-one
I appreciate
setting,
the farmers.
shame is bad.
Oh yeah, we know that for sure.
Okay. Okay.
In a one-on-one setting, not
I just wanted to
necessarily.
get both of your positions down,
clinical
so I
setting,
understood
yes.
them clearly.
In a clinical setting, maybe, and on a one-to-one setting, depends on.
Well, it's definitely not a clinician's job to shame their clients.
I mean, it would depends on what is shame, right? If I go to a clinician and I'm like, yeah, I feel a little bit tired and I have trouble moving, and they're like, well, you probably should exercise. Is that shame?
No.
Okay, perfect. And if somebody
that
goes
wouldn't be
into there
shame.
and they're like, oh, I don't know, I have a hangover every day, and tell you, well, you probably should stop drinking. I think that's shameful either. It's like,
No, I don't think that's shame.
Right. Well, that's not. Yeah,
If
that's
he was
not
like,
the
well,
type
you're
of
a
shame I was
freaking
talking-
idiot because you drink every day, you moron. Get out of my office. That would be shame.
Mhm.
yeah, well, maybe it is the case, right? It's like, oh, I'm hungover. Well, maybe stop being stupid.
Well, eventually it
How am I
eventually
gonna
it
help
gets
you
to
when
that,
you're
I think.
dehydrated, right? It's like, okay,
Thank you for that, Homestead. I was
Well,
actually just
if I
thinking
can just
that.
say, oh wait, Apprentice, you come in first, and then I'll make my point.
I appreciate that, Leia. So I just wanted to make the point that I feel like we need to reframe, because we're talking about two different things here. We're talking about shame and shaming. Shame is the internal sense of I did something wrong according to the morals or standards that I hold. Shaming is, well, half of you seem to be talking about holding a standard and holding people to that standard, and half of you seem to be talking about bullying. And bullying can be an effective tactic, and I think that some people respond and some people don't. But I think when we talk about these things, we need to be very clear about what we're talking about. Shame, when I talk about we need to bring back shame, I'm talking about we need to bring back that standard that we all hold, that we can then have a sense of I did wrong because of. The whole general populace, relatively speaking, with a few subsets, don't view anything as technically right or wrong other than what they view as right or wrong. So any shame they feel is mostly a sense of embarrassment because their personalities, their interests, their quirks are what is being shamed or what they feel shame about. And so that is bullying in their mind because they personally are being attacked. So what we're talking about, what we're trying to have this conversation about, is the sense of shame that the populace has because we have a moral standard that we all hold to, and the shaming that we do when we hold people to that standard. Not bullying, not necessarily pointing things out when it will cause embarrassment. That's shaming, and that can be an effective tool. I will tell you, as a bullheaded kid, I got yelled at quite a few times by my dad, but the minute he mentioned something quietly in front of my friends, it was a much more effective tool for me to go, oh yeah, no, I don't want to.
where I was-
seems like bullying is what should be doing, right? Make bullies great again. I agree with bullying. I
is
don't have a problem with
a
bullying.
tool. It's an
What
effective tool for some people, but not always.
What you just said there, Apprentice, is kind of what I was talking about, where I believe that shaming is best done in a small peer group. How that was
Correct.
effective on you because your peers were there in front of your dad when he gave that example.
Correct.
Yeah,
Yes.
but it
Yeah, I tried to give him a
comes
better
into the
name
general
and he wouldn't
population,
take
right?
it.
Your
He
peers
stayed
are
the
part of the general
apprentice.
population. Where we're
Right.
paying, hey, this is the standard
Please
to the general
listen to him.
population. We
Correct.
don't want you to do this kind of shit. Okay, this is why interventions can be impactful on people, because it's your friends, the people you care for, the people that are next to you. But that involves the general population. It's like this is a shameful
We
act
figured,
in the
Barn.
general. If we
Just pointing out
accept,
for the
for
rest.
example, rocks with D, as it said, as something fine, you shouldn't be shamed for it. It's the general thing. People just do it, bro. Okay. At that point, it's like, what is the actual shame in doing that? Okay. If you see the if you see kind of the general population when it comes to women, especially in cities in which they are being promiscuous, and it's seen as something good, something that the pop stars doing now. It's fine. It doesn't matter. Well, how are you gonna shame that? I'm talking about actually shaming it. Like, hey, this is our standard. Being a Coomer is wrong. Being a gremlin Coomer is the wrongest thing you can ever do. We're gonna shame you for doing that. And if you call me bullying for doing that, fine. I don't care. Who cares, right? It's
but
fine
you're right.
to bully people that are being absolutely horrible to society. I don't have a problem with it.
Right. Once the general standard lowered to the point where they didn't hold those anymore, then it became impossible to shame people because they didn't have a sense of shame for it. They didn't feel wrong. So then you just become a bully. And
They had the attitude I had when I was 14 years old.
Exactly.
Correct.
Yeah.
And same as me at 14, I'm sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
A lot of 14-year-olds for that matter. Speaking of a youngin, welcome in, ODJ.
Welcome, ODJ.
Hello, guys.
Hi. Welcome in. And that was kind of my point as well. When I'm saying like it won't work, like that's what I mean. Because one thing you might find similar across all addicts is that like ID, GAF,
Go.
I don't care mindset, especially once you reach a certain part of your addiction where a lot of us reach where we're basically just waiting for that last time we use and waiting for it gleefully. I feel like every
This
addict
is
comes
the
to a
whole
point
reason
of
for this panel,
self-deletion,
guys.
at least in their own mind, at some point. And so shame is not going to work on those people. Compassion and hope are the only things that will break you out. Giving someone God, giving them a reason to live.
You're in good company,
That's
Barn.
what will help them.
Always, brother.
I 100% agree that it doesn't work on addicts, but I don't care about the addicts necessarily. I care about the general population. So, yes, it doesn't work for addicts. Data shows that it doesn't work for addicts. They already committed the action, right? But a preventable measure is to shame those kind of actions so that the general population are not addicts. I'm very
100%.
sorry. I really have to go. I really have to go. I'm not trying to run away. But I want to thank you.
We'll talk another time.
Yeah, I wanna thank you, Tater. I just have another commitment, so I didn't realize this was gonna be the.
I appreciate you coming on and engaging with us for the bit that you had. Do you have any minute to shout your channel out if you want to?
Yes, my channel is at Count Emmett. I'm doing different stuff, either playing games or commentary or the news of the panelverse, depending on where we're doing, where we're going for. I also do karaoke once a month, the last Saturday of the month. So if you ever wanna go over there, spend a little bit of cash and make me sing anything you want. By the way, if you find the song I will not sing, you get $50. Yeah, you are more than welcome into my channel to do that. That will be fun. Thank you once again, Tater, for having me on. It's always a pleasure. And thank you, Leia, for the conversation, and everybody here. I hope you have an excellent day.
I appreciate you, brother. Yeah, if you in the chat, you don't know, check his channel out. I appreciate you, Emmett. As always, you're welcome back on, and God bless, man.
God bless to all of you.
All right. So, real quick, Beatrix in the chat says, as a non-addict, even I don't care about shame. So even somebody who doesn't dabble in that, once you get into it, they don't care about the shame for sure, like we've discussed. And so being a non-addict, she doesn't even care about what you think, right? It's kind of how I feel. Sorry, Leia. So that's kind of how I feel, is like it doesn't matter what you think of me. It only matters what my God thinks of me and what I think of me, but I have God where other people don't have God. And so it really boils down to what they themselves hold dear to their heart that's going to create that shame, right?
Right.
But yeah, go ahead, Leah.
And I was also going to bring up before I realized, I know I talked everybody's ear off with Emmett. Sorry about that, y'all. But Dare, right? I brought this up with my
Hey, Marcelary, good to
in
see
my
ya.
debate with Bosch as well. Like, if any of you remember taking Dare to resist drugs and violence, it became a bit of a meme, even though its entire point was to be like, drugs are bad, okay? They're
Right.
going to kill you, and this is all the ways they're going to do it. Like, they were doing nothing but shaming people, giving them every bad stat, trying to scare and shame people out of using. That was the whole point of Dare. And we see how well that worked out. Like, everybody thought of it as a joke, right? So, could we do a better shame campaign? Sure. I'm sure we could. But Dare's not the only example. I just feel like there's many, many examples, because that's what Emmett was targeting with people before they become addicted. And I still just don't feel like, at least shame alone, which is a point I got to with Bosch, maybe shame in conjunction with something else, like a more honest education, but shame alone just won't do it.
I think Dare was an extremely counterproductive program that opened the minds and the doors of kids that probably would have never tried drugs to their experimentation.
Right. Agreed.
What was in the shadows was made aware to everyone.
Yep. I don't know how many people it saved or even purports to have saved, but everyone I know thinks of it as a joke, and all of the other like programs. So
it's probably created by the cartels.
Right.
It might have been.
Yeah. I did support a group. I'm hoping they're doing good work, but I can't remember what their term was, but they were another awareness program. That's where I actually got this hat, Positive Vibes. And so I definitely tried to give them a little bit of support, because we definitely need to help that next generation not get into them somehow. And it's really hard because, again, Dare, I was the one, I'm one of the loudest people to say Dare didn't work. It only brought awareness to the fact that they were available and how to find them.
Right.
I didn't even know about them until the Dare program.
Exactly.
And then I thought, and then of course, hold on. And then of course, because my fucking arrogant ass, I said, you know what? I want to be a drug addict because you said I fucking don't want to be, right? I didn't become a drug addict, I will admit, but anyway, sorry. I will shut up now. Leia, go ahead.
No, you don't have to shut up. The stubbornness of youth, that was another one of my points earlier. It will make you do things because you think you're invincible and you think you are the exception. We've all dealt with that, right? And the thing is, for me, and this is only well, not really only anecdotal, because we do have some evidence, but I think the number one thing to keep people away from drugs is hearing the testimony of those of us who have come out of the other side that can actually say, like, look, this isn't some after school special. This was my life. This is what my, day-to-day life was like. This is how I destroyed my life, rebuilt it, then just for shits and giggles, destroyed it 2 or 3 more times because I didn't do it well enough the first time. Like, only those types of conversations, in my opinion, truly honest, like painfully honest testimonies are what could possibly get through to people, because I do think that compassion and that that bone in all of our bodies to be like, oof, I don't want to be that person, could even overcome invincibility.
Yeah,
Ignorance.
rock bottom's a hell of a place to be.
What if we just don't tell them about drugs? I know that's not really an option, but what do you think would happen?
Less
their friends will.
them.
And what if
No,
they
I don't think
know
so.
that either?
I mean, their parents, their cool uncle, their brother and sister, their person they met on the internet.
And
I think we could just completely.
If they just hypothetically, if they just don't find out about drugs, do you think they'll still find out about them, like, eventually? If they don't find out, like.
Well, everybody will, yeah. I mean, it's in movies,
Okay,
TV shows.
If the Dare program didn't exist, do you think as many people would be on drugs as we have now?
I don't know that it really made a difference.
That's such a hard metric to measure.
Because I know plenty of people who were like, "Oh yeah, let's go get drugs," because they saw the DARE program.
Sure, but how do you know those same people would not have just asked a friend out of curiosity if they saw them do it or heard them talking about it, right?
You post a very good point.
They probably would have. They probably would have.
Yeah.
I have them every now and again. Don't give me too much credit.
You typically either have that innovative mindset or you don't.
I'm not
True,
cool
and
enough.
oh
I'm
no,
not
no,
cool
drugs are
enough
the
for
furthest
drugs.
thing.
I'm not cool enough.
No, it's the opposite. You're cool enough not to do them. And I'm going to say, it's really interesting you say that, because I've always said if we were to get together all of the recovered,
That's
mind you,
crazy,
that's the biggest
Mushmouth.
part,
What the
recovered addicts in one room, we could solve all of the world's problems. Because if you think about it, and anybody that's done Rugs with a D can tell you how creative and inventive we have to be, just day to day, to be able to get well, all of that. Imagine all of that energy focused on like world hunger. You know, we could solve all the problems, man.
Fair.
I mean, I'm just saying. And if I could just make one more point and then I'm done and I'll STF you. What I was going to say earlier and I almost forgot until just now was we are finding there's very, very limited. I mean, this is bleeding edge information studies, if you will. We're finding that there may be a link between the addict gene, if you will. It's not really one gene, but my addicts will know what I'm talking about. And like genes that create things like pica. If you've ever known somebody with autism or other spectrum disorders, a lot of times pica will come with it, where you eat strange things. You have the compulsion to eat things that are not food. And
much, yep.
These types of disorders, there's other ones like where you rip your hair out, bite your nails, all these things. These compulsion disorders are like subcategories of OCD, kind of. We'll just say for the purpose, right? And all of these things are these compulsions that people can't exactly control, even though they know they're going to hurt themselves, right? And for the longest time, people have been trying to nail down like what makes these things tick, because if we could solve that, yay, you know? And we're finding that there's a lot of the same behavior patterns in that and addicts, because after that change occurs in your brain, it stops being a 100% cognizant, like, you know, self-aware, like, choice. I know it sounds like, oh, you just wake up every single day and you just choose to go get high. But it's really not that simple. But it's hard to explain if you've never experienced it, because obviously you are choosing to get up, to go do this, to go do that. So it's hard to like, but I found that incredibly interesting because it does not surprise me at all. What do you think, MSM, as somebody else who's struggled?
Yeah, it breaks my brain how it turned off on me. I don't know. Like, I just stopped. I was sick for 3 weeks. I stopped. I was sick for 3 weeks and I never touched it again.
It's crazy.
I just decided, I was like, I love life a little more, and decided to stop. Said, God, I need your help, dude. I can't keep doing this. And I guess he smacked me. I don't know.
It's amazing. A lot of people cannot tell a story like that. That's amazing.
Yeah, I know. I have no desire. Like, when I had surgery on my thumb, they wanted to give me painkillers. I wouldn't take them. Like,
dang.
So, I don't know.
Respect on that one. I have a pretty high. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I have a pretty high tolerance for pain, but surgery, the couple of surgeries that I've been through, I've wanted some painkillers every once in a while. I'm definitely not one to go for them, you know, right off the bat. I'm adamant against pills in general. They're bad on your body. And so I
won't take ibuprofen, man.
Oh, really?
Like, I won't take anything.
Yeah. If I can help it, I don't. I'm usually crippled if I'm having to take some.
Me too. Like, I would have to be down and out, can't move, can't get up, and then I might take an ibuprofen.
That's fair.
Yeah,
I'll drink my Mountain Dew and I'll have my cigars, and that's it.
Yeah,
not great things either, right? But
probably less bad.
I have never had surgery. I cannot speak on this.
It hurts.
Well, I've had bloods.
But I do have high pain tolerance.
Yeah.
There is that.
Sucks.
Well, that's good. That's a good quality to have. I've had quite a few procedures and 2 children since I got clean, and I had been offered. I always say this jokingly, but it's sadly very true. I've been offered more legal drugs in the past 9 years than ever in my entire life, and also turned them down. I mean, I haven't taken any opiates, for almost 9 years now. But it's crazy how that happens.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But yeah, I just thought that link was very interesting. I'll find the article and I'll put it in the chat, because that everybody has the same idea about it. Like, well, addicts are just choosing to be addicts, but if we actually could link it.
I have no OCD personality traits whatsoever either. So maybe that's why.
Well,
I don't know.
You never know. I don't think it's actually linked to
Fair, Beatrix.
OCD itself. I think it's just
I wouldn't say it is, but I would say people that have obsessive compulsive disorders or any kind of obsessive compulsive disorder is much higher likelihood to become an addict.
Marcel, I agree there.
Yeah, probably so. I just find it interesting as someone who studied psychology. I know, but as someone who did, that they could be finding that possible connection to explain that behavior. Very interesting, because even from an addict, we drove ourselves crazy because we wanted to stop. It's not like we were just sitting around going, yeah, this will be a fun day. We wanted to stop for years before we did, but it was that compulsion.
Yeah, that is
done.
compulsive. What
were you saying, MSM? What were you saying?
Oh no, I wasn't saying anything. I was agreeing with her.
Okay, fair enough. Werewolf in the chat says exercise, good diet, and a strong community helped me more than AA did. I agree with that one. That's part of the reason why I'm trying to build the community that I'm building here. Part of it is we all need people. We all need to talk to someone every once in a while. My community, I have a lot of people that are stay at home, which is phenomenal. We need more people, more women to stay at home. There are those men that just can't simply go do anything. It is happening more and more these days, and they shouldn't be shamed for something that they can't help. But we should be allowing those women to stay at home. And when they stay at home, they don't get a lot of interaction, right? I've had many single moms in my history of dating, and they all have complained to me that they don't get a lot of adult interaction. And that's part of the reason why I like the community that I'm building in the Discord. So if you are looking for a community, if you know somebody looking for a community that needs some help, just somebody that is a fucking tater and makes fun of himself all the time, have them join my Discord. It is nothing like you'll ever see from what I keep hearing on Discord. I'm new to Discord. I've only had my Discord for a year, so I don't know exactly what all Discord has, but I understand it's more of a gaming platform when it started. So I have a different platform that I'm building. I want to build a different kind of social media. So bring them in. If you want to join, please join. We have a lot of fun, and I'm building a whole crew of people to do all different sorts of stuff fun, and I'm trying to get more stuff fun to do in the Discord because I like having fun, guys.
It truly is an amazing community.
Thank you for that.
One that I will defend to the death.
Yes, she does. She does. I want to give that a shout out. Holy cow, that was awesome. Newcomer in the chat real quick.
Thank you.
What was that, Leia? Sorry.
I'm sorry. I was just trying to say no shout out necessary. Thank you. I feel like all of us should thank you for one heck of a community built. I know we're all grateful for it. Okay, I'm SPF viewing now.
You're fine. I appreciate that. I'm really trying, and I'm glad that it's working somewhat. It looks like we've got Bloodshot Ripper Kim. Wow, that's quite the name. But pharmacies make more people addicts than the streets. Cured patient is a lost customer. And that's exactly it. I thank you for the engagement. I hope to keep you around. We have these every Thursday night. Anyone is welcome to join the panel and discuss their points of view on things. I usually have about 5 or 6 prompts that we start with, but we're open to obviously changing the conversation up a little bit. We went off the rails tonight, which is fine. it was an interesting conversation as far as I'm concerned. Like Vosh said, I thought we had ironed it out last week with the debate, but I always like bringing up debates and conversations on my panel, which, speaking of debates, we do have debates every once in a while, right? We did have the first debate on my channel, and I want to do more of those. So if you like to debate, or if you know anybody that likes to debate or would like to get into the debate, that's the biggest thing, is we're amateur debaters. I am not a master debater by any means whatsoever. I am just a simpleton when it comes to it. Anyway, was there anything else that we wanted to talk about on that? We can move off that. It's probably getting close to wrapping up the stream here before long, but I'll let you guys have the floor for a second. No? Nobody?
Join the community, please.
Yes.
It's awesome here.
Thank you for that. Please join the community. I have a lot of fun. There's a lot of emojis in my Discord, and I still have about 54 that I have slots available. So I'm always looking for new emojis to make up and have a good laugh with. But yeah, on that note, if there's nothing else that we want to talk about on the subject at hand, we'll go ahead and start our shout out process. I know that Jay is getting to the point where she's probably going to need to be signing off before much longer anyway. I appreciate you coming back on the panel and the engagement after whatever duties you had to fulfill. Do you have anything to say while I've got you?
I mean, your community's all right, I guess. If people want to join, it's okay.
Nah.
Nah.
Oh,
No, love it here. I'm super glad I joined. You're actually the only Discord that I'm in. I joined Discord for your channel. So
that's kind of what I'm shooting for. Obviously, there are other communities out there, and there's some other really good streamers that like you can join their Discords and you can be up to date on what they're doing. But seriously, just join my Discord. Like I'm not saying that because I want all of it for myself, but it's a different social media than Facebook and Instagram and X and all that crap. I don't play that game. It's Christian, conservative, patriotic Discord. We're open to different views, and I'll give you your own place to be degenerate, I guess, but I'm gonna roll you in. If you want to be part of my Discord, that's not gonna fly for very long. Just understand it. With that being said, I'll give the floor back to Jay. I kind of interrupted you there.
No, you're good. You're good. I am gonna head out though. I didn't get to pop in for much longer, but finally got all my stuff done in between rains. So I will head out. You guys have a good night, and I will see you next week.
Awesome. Well, again, as always, you're welcome back on the panel. God bless you. All right, and we'll start up in the same corner as I normally do, which is Leia's. The first one, and then we'll go over to MSM. We'll give each person a chance to shout anything out that they want to. So, Leia, you have the floor for a minute if you'd like.
Sure. Well, of course, join the Discord, promote Tater, share with a friend, click his links for some grift business, please. Also, just because we did discuss these types of things, throw it out there as obligatory statement. Anyone can always reach out to me. I will give you my email if you're in the Discord. It's also on my YouTube page. Search me at Utopia. And if you need resources for yourself or someone you love, I'm a superstar at finding resources, whether it be for recovery, housing, food insecurity, etc. I will help you or your loved ones if no one else will, or die trying. So feel free to reach out, and thank you, as always, Tater.
Fair. Appreciate you coming on. And again, if you guys don't know, she has her own channel. Check that out. Give her some love. She does do a very good job of research. Part of the reason why she's part of my crew now as well, and I appreciate her for being here. As always, you're always welcome back, and God bless you. All right.
God bless y'all, gentlemen. Good
Thank
night.
you. Good night. And that brings us over to MSM. Do you have anything you'd like to say?
Sure, man. Thanks for having me. First of all, appreciate it. Haven't been in Discord much lately, but that's because I'm going all over the country for the baseball stuff. If you ever want to catch me occasionally, I do a Thursday night show with my buddy Payne's Angels. It's Kilted Christian on Rumble. He's going live probably in about 2 minutes. I think he does a show every weeknight at 9 o'clock on Rumble. It's called Kilted Christian. Obviously, Christian based. Scotland. He's from Scotland, so good brother of mine. But yeah, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. I'm glad that you were able to catch one, man. I've been hoping that you've been able to get on. So again, you're always welcome back. And anybody in the chat, check out those channels and give them some love as well. If MSM is behind them, I am too. With that being said, I appreciate you. As always, you're welcome back on, and God bless you, man.
Thank you, brother. God bless.
Hell yeah. All right. And ODJ, is there anything else that you'd like to shout out or give
I don't have anything to shout out, but I would like to say something else about Discord. Discord is not your typical social media. It is more like instant messaging with some extras. Just for the viewers, if you don't really like social media, this is better than it.
Heck yeah. I appreciate you saying that because you know more about Discord than I do. So people in the chat, anybody that's watching this, definitely listen to him over me about what Discord is. But I'm definitely trying to change the scene even there. So I appreciate you being here, ODJ. You're always welcome back on my panels. Was there anything else you wanted to say before I get off of here?
See you later. I don't really have much.
No, that's good, man. I appreciate you coming on, and congratulations on the new job, and keep up the good work, brother. And God bless you, man.
Yep.
Sorry about that, guys. I didn't mean to cut him off. Sorry about that, ODJ. If you're watching, I didn't mean to cut you off. All right, guys. Seriously, these have been getting good, and I appreciate it. As always, please take care of yourselves, right? Leave the comments in the section below. I do want feedback, anything that I can get, any information that I can bring forth, I can take in, right? We had some seriously good insight tonight from Apprentice and from Leah and even Emmett. It's time that we start putting our foot down and saying enough is enough. We need our world back. We need our country back. We need to be Christians again and holding people accountable, including ourselves. So please take care of yourselves out there. Remember those Second Amendment rights, right, inside the United States. Please hold on to them. Outside of the United States, please take care of yourselves the best way that you know how as well. Always check on your neighbors. You don't know what they're going through. Be kind. Always. On the road rage, I know I'm bad, but please take care of yourselves the best way that you know how. You could have been anywhere else in the world, but you were here with us. And I appreciate that more than I can ever express. Christ is God, the King of Kings, and always will be. And I'll get the out of here and let you get on with your night. And the potato signing off.
Shake it loose, got no time for an excuse. Dip and die, feel the vibe alive. Doopsie whoopsie, spin around. Baseline stick, feel the sound. Catch the beat, move your feet, repeat. Lights are flashing, hearts are crashing. Energies in overdrive. signs of trouble.